Love to hear from y'all. 629-888-3931. Y'all have brought the juice as we expected. Evan brought the juice, man. Evan from South Bend said Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, we just want some respect, man. Take a listen.
What up, boss? This is Evan from South Bend, Indiana. I'm a big Notre Dame fan, and obviously we had a cool little run. Been facing elimination since week 3, whatever, right? We weren't getting enough respect because I feel like any other team did that, sat up here and lost to a NIU, whatever, right? A bad team, and then sat up here and won every single game after that to make it to the Natty. They would have been talked about like they were gods. But because it was Notre Dame, I feel like, I mean, yeah, they gave us our props, but they weren't sitting up here, you know what I'm saying? Really analyzing what we did. Like, nobody else could have done that. Realistically, I'm being honest. Nobody else could have sat up here and took that loss like Marcus Freeman did and then brought us back like that. Every single game brought us back to just demolishing opponents every single game after that. Just bang, bang, 40-20, 40-20. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Marcus Freeman should get that respect that he deserves, and so should our team, and so should our staff. 'Cause we got a bunch of dogs over here in South Bend, man. I'm telling you. We got a bunch of dogs and a bunch of dogs returning. I just want some Marcus Freeman respect. I know you're one of them people that do give Marcus Freeman his respect, and I respect you for that. But I don't know. All love though, JD. Go Irish.
Bunch of dogs. And a bunch of dogs returning, baby. I love Evan bringing the juice, man. Shout out, Evan. Evan, I hear what you're saying, brother. I hear what you're saying. Like, the NIU loss happens, and I think Notre Dame's one of those brands in college football that, kind of like those big brands in sports in general, people maybe take a little bit more pleasure than others in seeing them fail. Let's call a spade, dude. Notre Dame being unlikable for a while was a real thing. The brand in itself, how big of a brand it is, the deal that they're not in a conference, the fact that they have their own television deal with NBC. I think the brand kind of rubs some folks in a little bit of a different way. Also to pile onto this thing. Now, Brian Kelly, when he was at Notre Dame, Brian Kelly, publicly at least, not necessarily like the most likable coach in college football. Not my take on things, just what I believe the public opinion to be on the guy. So Notre Dame as a whole, I think, just like started to become more likable really this past season or even since Marcus Freeman got there. So there was, I think, a lot of pleasure from the powers that be in this college football space to just, I don't know, maybe enjoy Notre Dame losing to NIU. That's all I'll say here. But as much as I hear that, it was still NIU. It was still a game that you cannot lose. It should not happen. Marcus Freeman knows that. That team knows that. It cannot, never will happen. And the tough part for Notre Dame is they had their splash game against Texas A&M to start. Big win. We're talking about Notre Dame as a playoff team. They could go play for a national championship. Both things that happened, but that didn't happen after NIU. It happened before. So we have that opinion. Then you lose to G5 NIU, and there wasn't really a spot on the schedule for Notre Dame where they could make up that public image, if you will. And it's not Notre Dame's fault. You expected Florida State to be a college football playoff caliber team. Wasn't the case. Notre Dame's fault? No. But that Notre Dame-Florida State game lost a ton of juice. That's too bad. USC played a lot better than I think most people even realize, but that game wasn't one that you're circling and saying, oh, man, big-time top 10 matchup, Notre Dame, USC. Like, it didn't have the same juice. And so there wasn't this filter for us to revitalize Notre Dame's image, if you will, since NIU. But it doesn't matter where your image is. As long as you make the college football playoff and get hot at the right time, you got a chance to really make some noise. And that's where Notre Dame, I think, was able to rebrand and rejuvenate themselves in 2025 from the court of public opinion. Now, your point about Marcus Freeman, I 100% agree with, brother. 100%. I respect Marcus Freeman. I think he's trending towards being a top 5 coach in the sport. If you think he's a top 5 coach in the sport right now, I wouldn't push back too much on that. The thing that I appreciate about him is he's not just winning on the roster building side and the development side, though they have done that. I mean, Notre Dame, 8 players at the Combine this year, arguably 2 of the top 10 players in college football next year. They got dudes. They absolutely got dudes. And that's only going to get easier, I think, for Notre Dame because they are killing the yap that Notre Dame is a place that has some kind of glass ceiling on it. Shards everywhere. I mean, you got stained glass all over the place here, depending on what kind of glass you're breaking, because of what you did last year. going on the playoff run, beating Georgia, having Ohio State in the game in the fourth quarter, playing for a national title. Notre Dame's a different operation now, and that's only going to bolster what Marcus Freeman is on the recruiting trail. But what I would say in addition to that, probably as important, if not more important, Marcus Freeman is winning how good coaches win in the sense that he is maximizing everything he has on his roster. I mean, it felt like Notre Dame had 47 injuries last year in the playoff. Didn't matter. Notre Dame, they weren't one of the top 2 most talented teams in the college football playoff, one of the last 2 teams standing. Why? Because Marcus Freeman got this team to play together. Sounds cliche. It's true. Got them to play together, got them to play to their potential, met the moment, won in the margins, and that's why they played for a national championship game. I really believe that's a Marcus Freeman trait. I really do. So as much as you wish you hadn't lost week 2 and went into fight or flight, in a weird way, like that was, I think, a great stress test for us to see who Notre Dame is as a football program going forward and who Marcus Freeman is as a head coach. It would have made all the sense in the world if Notre Dame had just folded and said, you know what, NIU loss, we got a long way to go. We can't lose another game. Who knows if we even win the rest of our games to make the playoff. No conference championship, never packed it in, never turned on each other, just kept the main thing, and played for a college football, not just playoff berth, but national championship here in 2024. So here's what I will say, though. If you want respect, and I think Notre Dame from 2024 has earned it, you got to go get it. You got to go earn it year in and year out. It's kind of like having a good credit. It's built up year after year. It takes some time to establish respect carrying over from the season to the next season. Like, why do we talk about Dan Lanning in Oregon in a sense where we respect Dan Lanning as one of the top coaches in the sport right now? Because every single year they get better. Like, not just me saying that, like legitimately, Notre Dame, or Oregon, Notre Dame as well, and in some senses continue to trend upward. Oregon has continued to take proper strides from play for the conference title last year, win the conference this year, make the playoff, like all those things where you trust Dan Lanning and you believe that what they have in-house is going to continue to translate and they're going to be a team that is always going to be a force. Why? Because you've seen the sustained success. Same thing with Steve Sarkisian. Last 2 years, made the playoff, made the semis in the 12-team format and the 4-team format. Respect has been earned there. Marcus Freeman has pushed Notre Dame to a place now, and his entire career now, to where you go do it again next year, there's going to be very little room for argument around what he is as a head coach in college football. There's going to be very, very little rebuttal you can make when you claim Marcus Freeman's a top 5 coach in the sport. And again, you can make that case right now, but you get some pushback, people saying, oh, it's just 1 year. Oh, yeah, but they matched up well with Georgia having a backup quarterback, whatever. There's no arguing next year when he does it again. So, Evan, I agree with you. There should be more respect. There will be more respect next year when Notre Dame runs it back and capitalizes on what they've built up to here in 2025. So all we're asking for is some RESP Schmeet. Find out what it means to me, to quote Michael Scott.